Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. One was a businessman who became president, the other a senator who became vice president. Both have very different ideas about handling powerful tech companies. These companies impact our lives. How they should be regulated is a big question. Trump and Harris represent two very different approaches. Harris believes in strong regulations. Understanding their differences is crucial for the future of technology in America. Let's talk about Section 230. It's a part of US law that's been a hot topic, especially when it comes to tech companies. Basically, it says that these companies aren't responsible for what people post on their platforms. Think of it like this: if someone writes something bad on a wall, you blame the person who wrote it, not the owner of the wall. Trump wanted to change Section 230. He argued that it gave tech companies too much power and allowed them to silence conservative voices. He claimed these companies were biased against him and his supporters. He even tried to use executive orders to force changes, but those faced legal challenges. Harris, however, sees Section 230 differently. She believes it needs to be reformed, but not in the way Trump wanted. She's concerned about the spread of misinformation and hate speech online. She thinks tech companies should do more to stop it. For Harris, it's about protecting people from harmful content, not about playing politics. This difference in opinion highlights a key difference in their approaches to tech policy. Trump focused on what he saw as unfair treatment of conservatives online. Harris, on the other hand, is more focused on the broader societal impacts of technology, like the spread of misinformation and its effect on democracy. It's a classic case of different priorities leading to different policy positions. Every time you use the internet, you leave a digital trail of data. This data is valuable, and tech companies collect and use it in various ways. But who owns your data and how should it be protected? That's where the debate over data privacy comes in. Trump's administration didn't prioritize federal data privacy legislation. They generally favored a hands-off approach, allowing tech companies to largely regulate themselves. This approach was criticized by privacy advocates who argued for stronger protections for consumer data. Harris, in contrast, has consistently advocated for strong federal privacy laws. She believes that consumers should have more control over their data and how it's used. She supports giving users the right to access, delete, and correct their data, as well as the right to know how their data is being used. This difference in stance reflects a fundamental philosophical divide. Trump's approach aligned with a belief in limited government intervention in the market. Harris, on the other hand, believes that government has a role to play in protecting consumers and ensuring a fair and equitable digital economy. It's a classic debate about the role of government in the digital age. Section 4. Breaking up is hard to do. Antitrust and competition. Have you noticed that a few big tech companies seem to control a lot of what we see and do online? That's got some people worried about monopolies and a lack of competition. Antitrust laws are supposed to prevent companies from becoming too powerful and stifling competition. Trump's approach to antitrust was often seen as politically motivated. He frequently criticized companies like Amazon and Google, accusing them of bias against conservatives. However, his administration's actions against these companies were often more talk than action. Harris, on the other hand, has been a vocal advocate for stronger antitrust enforcement. She believes that the power of big tech companies needs to be checked to protect consumers and promote innovation. She supports investigations into potentially anti-competitive practices and is open to breaking up tech giants if necessary. The contrast in their approaches highlights the intersection of politics and economics in the tech world. Trump's actions often seem driven by his personal grievances and political goals. Harris, while also politically motivated, grounds her stance in a belief in the importance of a fair and competitive market. It's a reminder that tech policy is often as much about politics as it is about technology. Section 5. Cyber wars and national security protecting America in the digital age. The internet doesn't stop at borders. That means cybersecurity, protecting our computer systems and networks from attack, is a big deal, especially when it comes to national security. Foreign governments and hackers can use the internet to steal secrets, disrupt critical infrastructure, and spread misinformation. Trump often took a strong stance on cybersecurity, particularly when it came to China. He viewed China as a major threat in cyberspace and accused them of stealing intellectual property and engaging in cyber espionage. He imposed tariffs and sanctions, in an attempt to counter these activities. Harris also recognizes the importance of cybersecurity and agrees on the threat posed by China. However, she emphasizes the need for increased federal resources and international collaboration to combat cyber threats effectively. She believes in a more multilateral approach to cybersecurity, working with allies to establish international norms and standards. While both acknowledge the importance of cybersecurity, their approaches differ in their methods. Trump favored a more unilateral, confrontational approach relying on tariffs and sanctions. Harris, while acknowledging the need for a strong defense, emphasizes diplomacy and collaboration. It's a classic debate about the best way to ensure national security in the digital age. Section 6. The future is now AI, 5G, and the ethics of innovation. Artificial intelligence, 5G networks, self-driving cars. The future of technology is full of exciting possibilities. But these advancements also come with risks and ethical dilemmas. How do we ensure that these technologies are developed and used responsibly? Trump's approach to emerging technologies was largely focused on deregulation and maintaining American leadership. He believed in minimizing government interference in the development and deployment of new technologies, particularly in areas like artificial intelligence and 5G. He saw these technologies as crucial for economic growth and national security. Harris, while also supportive of innovation, emphasizes the need for ethical guardrails. She's called for regulations to address potential biases in AI systems and ensure that these technologies benefit all Americans. She believes in a more cautious approach, balancing innovation with social responsibility. This difference in approach reflects contrasting views on the role of government and the pace of technological change. Trump favored a hands-off approach, believing that the market would self-regulate and that America should lead the way in technological advancement. Harris, while not opposed to innovation, believes in a more cautious approach, guided by ethical considerations and a focus on equity. It's a debate that will continue to shape the development and deployment of emerging technologies. Section 7. 2 Visions, 1 Digital Future. So there you have it. Trump and Harris, two very different leaders with very different visions for America's digital future. Trump, the businessman turned president, favored deregulation, a strong stance on China, and a focus on American technological dominance. Harris, the senator turned vice president, believes in strong regulations to protect consumers, a more collaborative approach to cybersecurity, and a focus on ethical innovation. Their contrasting approaches reflect a fundamental divide in American politics about the role of government, the power of corporations, and the best way to navigate the challenges and opportunities of the digital age. These are debates that will continue to shape the lives of every American as technology becomes ever more integrated into our lives. Who's right? That's for you to decide. But one thing's for sure, the future of technology is too important to be left to politicians alone. We all have a stake in shaping the digital world we want to live in. So stay informed, get involved, and make your voice heard. The future is waiting. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content.